restaurant. I worked for probably one of my earliest cocktail inspirations, Nick Matone, who was the GM at Gramercy Tavern. I worked for him in Florida at a hotel. It's a pretty basic gin cocktail with gin, 2 parts gin, 1 part Lillet as a sherry wash, and a flamed orange peel as the garnish. As a lot of people do, they fuck up elsewhere, and it's a good outlet. I mean, I started in high school, worked for my father, and decided that intellectual parts weren't that fun, and booze and food and entertaining people was a hell of a lot more fun than that. Took a break from working for my father's company and went to work at a restaurant. Started from the bottom, sat in the kitchen for 6 months, ran food, bussed tables, did all that other fun stuff, and then saw all the green. In my earlier days of working in restaurants, being frustrated with a couple of places that I worked at and how poorly their wine programs are run, and seeing what fun and how interesting wine was to me at that time, and really also looking at it as a business opportunity. I mean, I'm a freelance wine salesman at this restaurant that I'm working at, and I can sell $40 bottle of wine, $50 bottle of wine, or $1,500 bottles of wine, and I realized then that the more I knew about it, the better opportunity I would in being able to sell a product at any level. I took my own initiative and learned a lot about wine. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know what I enjoyed about it, but that was what got me into learning more and more. So I seeked out a group of guys that ran a wine shop, and I went to work for them to learn a lot about it. Just decided that from then on, wine was going to be my path, or at least from then on for the short term. I couldn't pinpoint one. I mean, I think there's so many different aspects, ideas that I've gathered from restaurants, bars, strip clubs, cocktail clubs, lounges, everywhere imaginable. I found some sort of inspiration for whether it's the lighting here, the texture on the walls, the what I wanted for staff came from just places that I've been to and worked for throughout the last 12 to 15 years or so. Bogies was our Sunday afternoon ritual with my parents' friends. We used to go to this little pizza shop in West Hartford, Connecticut, where I grew up, called Dino's. And attached to it, there was this mysterious adults-only bar. It was a cheesy faux leather padded door with a little cutout window frosted over so you couldn't see into it. Occasionally the door would swing open and you could see the silhouette of Humphrey Bogart on it. And there was a little sign next to the door that said Bogey's Place. And the 1 or 2 times that I was able to look in and catch a view of what was going on in there, and all the nasty smells that came out, the dried out G&B and cigar smell that old men sat in there, and just who knows what. But I'm trying to recreate that here. That word has sort of been diluted heavily over the last 10 years, where someone held a position in a restaurant as being the sommelier and going to the tables and knowing and curating a wine list and educating the staff and all of that goes with it. I think restaurants started seeing the need to have someone in charge of it, but there was an inverse quality of people with wine knowledge. And anyone could put together a wine list. It's easy to read magazines and regurgitate what Wine Spectator or Robert Parker or any of those other people tell us what we should and shouldn't like. And that's a bunch of bullshit to me. I think it's more about what the person curating that particular wine list should really be exposing, or I should say conveying to their customers, in particular how it pertains to the menu as well. To me, the word sommelier is if you're in a position of a curatorial position in a restaurant and a sales position in a restaurant, and your sole focus is on wine, you're a sommelier. Congratulations. I worked at a wine shop, making $9.50 an hour and getting paid mainly in half bottles of wine at the end of the day. I ordered a pizza from Harry's Pizza, which one of the only few places that knows how to do the pepperoni correctly. I hate when you get pizza with pepperoni on it, and it's just like they just threw it on as an afterthought. These guys like bake their pepperoni, thick slice with edges curled up on it, and grab the cheese off of it. Anyway, so that and a bottle of Ford or Toraldigo was probably my best dining experience. It's our good friend Teresa Pow Pow's birthday back 6, 7, 8 years ago, and we sat down at Uni, had a couple courses there, and then went up and sat in the dining room at Clio. And after about 26 or 27 courses, including about 6 or 7 dessert courses, we were gone after about a 7.5 hour stretch of eating and drinking. So in terms of length, overall taste of food and drink and wine, that was probably the greatest try. There's probably a few major areas of inspiration. Probably my greatest one is my father. To see what he has done and the way he has lived his life in pretty unorthodox ways of getting to where he's been, I think, sort of it's been the same kind of path that I've taken. There was no means to an end. It was just finding what really does inspire you at that particular moment or particular time of your life. And for a while, my inspiration was wine. It was something that drove me to want to learn more and exceed more, and by just going out and exploring. At this point now, it's a newer challenge, and what's really inspiring me now is to become an owner of a place.